Welcome to the Actually I Can Female Entrepreneur podcast. I am your host, Kayleigh Greenacre, a business strategist, coach, TEDx speaker, author, and your go-to woman for all things business strategy. I am obsessed with supporting female entrepreneurs to grow unstoppable six and multi-six-figure businesses that they love, giving them the freedom and life that they desire. During this podcast, I'll be sharing with you everything that you need to become a successful female entrepreneur, from the mindset shifts to sales and marketing strategies, and how to become an iconic leader that people can't get enough of. It is my mission to help you stand out, attract your dream clients and customers, and sell out of your offers with ease whilst building the business and life of your dreams. Let's make this your reality, ladies. Hello, ladies, and welcome to another episode of Actually I Can, the Female Entrepreneur podcast. And this week, I'm going to be diving into my Evergreen sales strategy that sells on repeat and doesn't rely on you constantly being online. So let's talk about Evergreen, because I know how it feels to always be on, always posting, always launching, always pushing. And that isn't freedom, as we know. And if you're here, you didn't build your business to stay stuck in this hustle mode or hustle mentality. You've built it for freedom. You've built it for wealth, for impact, for your incredible clients. And I want to show you exactly how I created a strategy that supports all of that on repeat. So most entrepreneurs are stuck in this cycle of reactive sales. They launch, they sell, they crash and repeat. And they're always prepping for the next thing, always asking themselves, how do I make more money this month? And I'd love to know, if you're listening to this podcast, do you feel like that every single month or at the start of every single month? But what happens when you want to take a break, for example? What happens when life happens? What happens when your energy dips or you simply want to enjoy your success? And I think this is a really, really interesting point because, life does happen. There are things that will happen in our lives where we can't always be online. We can't consistently be showing up and selling every single day in our stories. So we have to think about this. And that's where most sales strategies do fall apart, because they're tied into your energy. And let's be honest, no woman can sustain that 24/7. So what we need instead is a system, is a strategy, an evergreen strategy, and a message that continues to sell for you. So let me take you behind the scenes of what truly made this shift possible for me, not just a change in my strategy, but a complete reframe in how I approached selling in my business. So I want to first of all start by talking about messaging. So many women think they need to be more visible, or that more visibility will make more sales. But visibility without messaging that actually activates your ideal clients won't bring you in the sales. You might be seen more, but you won't be heard by your dream clients. So therefore, you're missing a massive part of that sales strategy. What I've built and what I teach inside my programs is a messaging system that sells for you. So messaging that doesn't just describe an offer, but it speaks directly to the ideal dream client's identity, to their desire, to their urgency. My dream client, personally, they don't need to be chased and they don't need to be convinced. They read my content and they feel activated and buy because my message reflects them. It reflects their desires, their struggles, their next level of where they're going to. And this is the core of my iconic messaging method. So we don't focus on selling the features. We sell resonance, the belief, the embodiment. So what I've gradually worked on over the last couple of years is that my content does the work, because it tells my dream clients scrolling late at night that I see you, I get it, I understand, and I know exactly what you need to get to your next level. Okay, so a lot of your sales is heavily reliant on your messaging, which can bring in sales at any time of the day, any day of the month, any day of the year even. So it really is about your messaging speaking to your ideal clients. So if you're listening to this podcast, I want you to think, ultimately, is your messaging right now getting inside the heads of your ideal clients? Are you directly speaking to their desires, their struggles, their next level of where they want to go? Are you allowing them to see that you are the person that can get them to that next level? So messaging is really, really important when it comes to your sales strategy. And actually having messaging that is evergreen, that is timeless, is really important as well, to make sure that no matter when people are viewing that piece of content, whether it's on social media, whether it's on a different platform, whether it's on your podcast, that people can jump in and join you at any time. Okay, so messaging is number one. That's the first thing that I want to share with you and want you to think about in regards to your business. Now, the second one is you need a product suite that's designed to move people, okay, to activate and to move people. So this is where I see quite a few people or entrepreneurs online go wrong. They create offers and then they try to market them. But the most powerful way to sell is to build an offer that actually sells itself. So inside Unstoppable, inside my best-selling program, we actually go deep into creating an offer suite or a product suite that aligns with your dream client's journey from the first touch point to the actual sale, not just surface level what's included, but offers built on identity shifts, on deep transformation and those high value problems. And obviously it depends on your business model and ultimately what you're actually offering, but that's kind of what we focus on. And in my mastermind, we take it even further, scaling your impact with evergreen funnels, automated sales strategies, and layering income streams that don't require you to launch every 5 minutes. So what I'm trying to say is you don't need hundreds of offers, okay? You need a few iconic ones or even just one main offer, strategically positioned with clear messaging and a pathway to scale, okay? So looking at your product suite right now, how many offers do you have? And I remember in the early stages of my business, I was given some great advice. And it was one of my mentors at the time. She said, pick one offer. Focus on selling that offer and get really, really good at selling that one offer. And once you master that, then introduce a new offer. And it's really, really interesting because although I've always had 2 or 3 offers at the time, what I did is I honed in and went all in on one specific offer. And back then that was Unstoppable, my best-selling program. And I got really, really good at marketing it, at all of my messaging and at selling that one offer. Once I mastered that, I then reintroduced my mastermind in a completely different way and then got really good at selling that. So it just goes to show, just as an example, but it goes to show that it's really, really important to master selling one offer at once. And then you can introduce more and more and more. And then what you want to do is think about the future and how you can grow this product suite. Also think about the client journey. Think about upselling through the client journey, or thinking about ultimately how you can cross-sell them into other offers. So for example, in my product suite, we have Unstoppable, which a lot of people come and jump into. My best-selling program, they get incredible results from that. And then they want more. They want to scale even further. So then they upsell into Iconic, the mastermind. So always thinking about your product suite. How can you ensure that it's designed to move people? How can you ensure that you are focusing on selling one offer and selling it really, really well? And remember, not focusing just on what's included, but looking at the identity shifts, the transformations, the high value problems that you are here to solve that's going to get them the results they desire. And then you can introduce other things to scale that product suite, to build it out and to encourage your clients to stay inside your world and continue on their journey. Now, the third thing that I want to talk about is your content and system must do the heavy lifting in your business. So evergreen sales come from content that is timeless. And I honestly believe that this is so, so important. I mentioned this earlier. Content that keeps working, whether you're online or offline, is really, really important. So not relying on certain days of the year, not relying on open carts, closed carts. You've got until Sunday to jump into this offer. We ultimately want your content to be able to be consumed at any day of the year and people to jump in and join the offer. And that really, really helps, especially when you've got evergreen offers available. You want your content to be evergreen to reflect that. So to me, this looks like, first of all, having strategic evergreen posts or content that builds trust and demand 24/7. And demand is a completely different thing. And ultimately, you want to build the trust and create the demand 24/7. So on every single post. The second thing is your sales pages. So if you use sales pages, you want them to speak almost as if they're having a conversation with you in the DMs or on a sales call. You want your sales pages to allow your ideal clients to see you as the trusted, iconic leader so that they move, so they don't have to continue to have lots of conversations. They don't have to jump on a sales call. You want that to do the heavy lifting for you. And then also automations that nurture and lead people to buy without needing an actual sales call. So you can use email sequences, for example, or DM sequences. There's loads of different ways to do this, to automate and to strategically make sure that you can sell an evergreen. But they would be the 3 things that I would focus on to support you with your content and your system doing the heavy lifting. Because looking at my brand, every part of my brand, from the first impression that people get from my content on social media to the way that someone comes into my DMs, is designed to do the work for me. And that is really, really key. And it's not about working less. I'm not saying that you can work just 1 hour a day and that's it, but it's about setting up your business to work smarter for you. So it doesn't need you constantly showing up and proving yourself every single day, which, as we know, can get really, really exhausting. So they're the 3 key things around my evergreen strategy that will really support you in turning your business into an evergreen sales system. And if you want to find out more about either of these, then drop into my DMs on socials. Let's have a chat and I will tell you what you can do to get to that next step in your business. So in terms of my experience, once I shifted from the standard launching business model and really hoping for sales to building a strategy that could work for me in the background and bringing in evergreen sales, everything in my business and my life, to be honest with you, became lighter, it became sustainable, and it became more powerful for me to show up and be the iconic leader. The pressure completely eased off. I never enjoyed live launching. In fact, I said very, very early on, within 3 months of launching my actual business, I said, I don't want to do live launches because I don't like them. I don't like the concept of putting pressure on people to buy. So the pressure eased when I introduced Evergreen very early on, the 4th month of my business. And I no longer felt like I had to be on this launch mode 24/7 to be successful. My business didn't fall apart when I stepped away for a weekend to spend time with my daughter or took time off to go on holiday with my friends, my family. And instead, my sales came in consistently and quietly. My audience kept growing over time. My dream clients reached out and already felt connected, they were certain that they wanted to work with me, not because I'd been pushing, but because the energy of my brand and my message had been doing the work the entire time. So this shift didn't just give me financial consistency, but it actually gave me the space to think clearly, to create from inspiration rather than that urgency. And I don't like that urgency selling, to lead from a place of intention instead of burnout. And that's really what evergreen strategies are all about. It's not about checking out of your business. It's about building something so clear, so aligned, and so strategically designed that it continues to support you even when you choose to have a few days off. If you want to go on holiday, you know that your business will sustainably continue to grow. So this is the work that we do inside my world. It's the foundations of both Unstoppable and Iconic, the mastermind. It's all part of the Iconic era movement. In Unstoppable, my best-selling program, we focus on building that foundation. So getting your message right, your offers aligned, and your strategy clear so you can start making those consistent sales without overcomplicating things and without actually having to launch consistently throughout the year. And in Iconic, the mastermind, we scale it. We refine your leadership, we elevate your brand, and we expand your income through systems, through structure and powerful positioning. So you step into a business model that supports both your lifestyle and your ambition. If this is the kind of business you want to build, one that creates freedom, one that creates wealth, success, and real longevity, then I'd love to support you. Drop me a DM in socials with the word sales and let's talk about which program would be best for you. Now, I really, really hope that you've enjoyed today's episode and hopefully it's giving you some things to think about in regards to your strategy and whether you want to go down the route of Evergreen. Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast, and I'll see you again next time. Thank you for tuning in to the Actually I Can Female Entrepreneur Podcast with me, your host, Kayleigh Greenacre. If you are ready to build, grow, and scale your dream 6-figure or multi-6-figure business, then head to our website now for more information or connect with me on socials to see how you can create your dream business and dream life.